All right, hey, this is JR with I Dig Treasure, and I'm going to do a signal test on a bunch of different targets that I have. Hey, this is JR with I Dig Treasure, and I'm going to do a signal test on a bunch of different targets that I have. There you go. So we have silver coins, Japanese coins, gold, diamonds, sapphires, coins, brass, just stuff I found over the last month or so. And so I'm going to put a bunch of these different targets over my Minelab MANTICORE and do a what they call a VDI test. I'm going to center this a little bit more. There we go. So again, welcome everyone to the live. Hopefully the screen shows up good. And so I'm just going to grab some random items and show you what the VDI is. And the full video will be on YouTube later. So here is a 90% silver dime, 1950, 83. You can see on the 2D screen, it's right there on the center line. Here's an older 42, I think this was a 42. It's a Mercury Dime, 81. Another old Mercury, 81. I have a, let's see, this one's an 1887 V-nickel, 2627, right there in the center of the 2D screen. There's a 1903 V-nickel I just found a couple weeks ago, 2728. This is an unknown coin. My wife said she can see almost like a front-facing profile shot with braids. It's a little thinner than a penny and a little larger than a penny. 38 to 41, right in the center of the 2D screen. Let's see, here's a 1936 wheat penny, 68.70. Another wheat penny, 75.77. Another wheat penny, 78. Let's see, we'll go through some of the rings. This, I believe, is a silver, sterling silver, and it would be a spoon ring. They'd have cut the end off a spoon and made a ring out of it. See, it's all over the place. 80, 87, but it's painting right there in the center of that 2D screen, which tells you that you should definitely dig it. 46, 47, probably like a brass, maybe copper ring. Small one. 64, 65. Another small little girls, women's silver ring. This one is a men's ring. 11, 12. Here's a titanium ring I just found. 52, 53. Here's a non-precious ring. 67, 68. You see it's painted a little above the 2D screen. Let's see, here's a solid silver men's ring. 93, 94, right on the 2D screen. Another silver ring I just found the other day. I thought it was aluminum, but it's actually silver. 82, 83, right on the 2D screen. I'm not sure what the material is on this one. 23, 24, probably aluminum. Here's a big old hoop earring. I thought was gold when I first found it, but it's magnetic. 77, 78, right above the 2D screen. Let's see, here's a 1971 Kennedy half dollar I dug. 92, 93. Perfectly on the 2D screen. Here's a 1964 Kennedy half dollar, which would be part silver. I'm not sure what the silver content of a 64 is. 94 all day long. Let's see, we'll test both these separate. Here is a 63 quarter, which would be 90% silver. 90, 91. Right on the 2D screen. Here is another 63. 90, 91. Get a coin spill with two of them. 95, 96. Let's see, here is just a token. 67, 68, right on the 2D screen. Now these were brought in by the millions from 1750 through the mid 1800s as a Japanese coin. So they're actually not very valuable just because they brought so many of them in, but it is old. 37, right on the 2D screen. Here's a part of a silver bracelet. 63, 64, right on the 2D screen. Here is a US $1 presidential coin. 89, right on the 2D screen. I dug this live like 2 nights ago. It's a Sacagawea coin, $1 coin. 88, 89, right on the 2D screen. Let's see, this is I'm probably going to pronounce it. So, how do you say it? Sobrano? It's a Mexican coin. 68, 69, 71 on the 2D screen. A Canadian penny. 75, right on the 2D screen. These are either lead or silver filled with gold on the outside with rubies. They're dice. I found one, that I found the other one like maybe a foot away. We'll test one at a time. So again, I'm not sure if it's lead or if it is silver. $54, $55, just a little below the 2D screen. 57, 60, again, right under the 2D screen. This is an old Boy Scout, Cub Scout little pin that says 1. $34, $36 on the 2D screen. Not sure what this is. I don't know if it was like a brooch. 64, 65, just a little under the 2D screen. I think this is silver. It's a big chunk of maybe melted silver. Kind of all over the board. $60, $61, just a little under the 2D screen. Kind of an unknown material. I haven't tried to clean it. A little pendant. 65, 75, 60. It's right on the 2D screen. And I think it's because it has a couple of different material. The hoops are made out of steel, and that's either gold filled or maybe brass. This little bell, I always forget what they're called. I thought it was just junk when I pulled it out. I barely rubbed it against my glove. You can see how it shines up. Pretty sure it's brass. 3940 on the 2D screen. Thought this was a gum wrapper, almost threw it away until I saw the design. It's a silver thimble, all crushed. $68, $60, right on the 2D screen. A little part of a pendant, which is silver. $77, $81 on the 2D screen. I think this is just a little piece of brass. 20, 22 on the 2D screen. Not sure if this came off of like a belt or something. It shined up really good though. And again, you don't want to clean them too much. 56, 58 on the 2D screen. I found this after a music carnival at the park. It's a little Coca-Cola bottle. It's not magnetic. 54, 55. Just a little under the 2D screen. Just found this old earring. $3 and $5 on the 2D screen. So it could be gold. Found this little clip out in the desert, and it actually has our city name, well, the city next to me, American Fork, Utah. And I think it was a clip that went on bags of produce or something. 75, 81 on the 2D screen. There's a little pendant, which looks like it could clean up real easy. 48, 49 on the 2D screen. This would be a well, in our area, it's a pre-Civil War. It's called a mini ball, M-I-N-N-I-E, named after the person who came up with it. It's a 3-ringer is what I call them. If you ever find a 2-ringer, that would be the CSA, the Confederate States of America. $50.51, just a little under the 2D screen. I'm going to test a couple of those. Here's another one, a little bent. 50, 55, under the 2D screen. 45, 49, on the 2D screen. Here is a sapphire with diamonds, and I believe it's gold. Bringing up a little high for gold, but that could be because the metal in the back. 53 on the 2D screen. Here's a little gold pendant with black and clear diamonds. 40, 42 on the 2D screen. Let's see, a little turtle. Again, I think it's a pendant. 62 on the 2D screen. We'll do some pendants now. Here's a Kobe 24 pendant. $9.10 on the 2D screen. just found this one live the other day. Big Texas pendant. 76, 81. It's on the 2D screen, but it is painting down. Another little pendant. 66, 67 on the 2D screen. Here's a 1930s Christmas tree ornament. Looks like a deer. 31, 32, right on the 2D screen. I think this might be a pendant. I'm not sure the material. Looks like an old key. $47. Kind of painting sideways on the 2D screen. Limited edition Disney World pin. $78, $79 on the 2D screen. A Paris pendant, which I believe is silver. 59, 61. Another like a brooch pendant. 46, 47. Probably came off a car. It says okay. $85 on the 2D screen. Another pendant that has the inside missing. 54 on the 2D screen. I found this. They're both in the same hole. It's a pentagram pendant with a chain. The chain, 4, probably aluminum. And the pendant, 46, 47. Not sure if these are real diamonds or not. You can see the shininess. 32, 33 on the 2D screen. Another little pendant. Actually, I think this came off a bracelet. $38, $39 on the 2D screen. A little pin I found after a music concert. 43, 44 on the 2D screen. Another little pendant. 78, 79 on the 2D screen. There's another one here, probably a pendant. 78, 79 on the 2D screen. Half of a Best Friends. You see that pendant? 59, 60. Here's one of those pennies you put through the machine at like the zoo or whatever. Makes a design. 68, 69 on the 2D screen. Here's another one. 64, 65 on the 2D screen. 1941 nickel. So this is right before the 42 through 45, which would have been 35% silver. 26, 27. We'll just take a little bit of Clad pennies. I'll just grab a handful because I have hundreds of them. We'll just do a few of them real quick. 59, 60. 60, 61. 53, 54. 59, 60, 78, 77. This is obviously going to be older. 58, 51, 62, 56 through 57. So again, that's just some pennies. I'll do a couple of dimes. These always ring up really super high. I won't take the time to look at the date. 77, 78, 77, 78, 77, 76 through 77. Here's just some random nickels. They should be 27, 28, 26 through 27, 27, 27 through 28, 26 through 27, 27, 27. Just a little stack of quarters. None of them are going to be pre-64, so all going to be clad. 88, 88 through 89, 87 through 88, 88, 88, 88. Here are some buffalo nickels. These are ones I bought to plant in my test gardens, so I did not buy these. 28, 27 through 28, 28, 26 through 27. These are non-silver half dollars, 4 of them. 92 through 93, 92 through 93, 92 through 93, and 92 through 93. Not sure what this is. Maybe a valve stem of something. 49 through 50, painting above the 2D line. Not sure what this is. 52 through 53, painting below the 2D screen. This is non-magnetic. It looks like it may shine up. So it kind of depends on how I hold it. If I hold it like this, it's a 1. Turn it sideways, it's a 51 through 52. Kind of at a 45, it's like a mid-80s. Probably just because of the overall size of it. Shotgun shell. '60 through 64, elongated on the 2D screen. Bullet casing. 64 through 66 on the 2D screen. Some kind of a 10, probably held something in there. 23 through 25 above the 2D screen. An aluminum thimble. 41 on the 2D screen. A beaver tail. '22 through 26. A little elongated on the 2D screen. An old key. 59 through 60 under the 2D screen. A railroad tie, just a little railroad tie. .48 through 50 above the 2D screen, elongated. Here's another one that's not bent. 59 through 55, elongated above the 2D screen. Another bullet casing. All over the place as far as the numbers, and it's painted all over the screen. Kind of a mystery item. .76 through 84. It looks like it's gold in color. It got cleaned up. Just like some kind of a token. 68 through 69 on the 2D screen. Another pull tab. 26 through 28 on the 2D screen. Matchbox car. 51 through 54. On the 2D screen, but real sketchy. Another smashed old matchbox. 91 through 93 on the 2D screen, but sketchy. There's another one. This one feels more plasticky. 30 through 38 above the 2D screen. Kind of another one, plastic. .49 and 55 all over the 2D screen. Crazy, I found a couple of spoons. .55 and 71 all over the middle of the 2D screen. Another spoon. .44, 47 all over the screen. Last one. 68 through 70 on the 2D screen, center, but sketchy. Some of these car keys. 78 through 79 on the 2D screen, center. Let's see. Just an old nail. 52 through 54 above the 2D screen. A huge nail. 42 through 44 above the 2D screen. Here's some brass. .77 and 81 on the 2D screen. I'm not sure what this is. It is brass, I believe. It has a maker's mark, if anybody knows what that means. 95 through 96, right on the 2D screen. Another piece of brass. .66 through 68 on the 2D screen. Not sure if this came off of a watch or a pin. 50 through 51 on the 2D screen. Some kind of a plumbing, off your plumbing. 67 through 70 on the 2D screen, centered but real sketchy. A piece of brass. 63 through 64 on the center of the 2D screen, but a little sketchy. Big hunk of what I assume is brass. 62 through 64, a little below the 2D screen. Some kind of an insulator with probably copper or brass. 52 through 55, right on the center of the 2D screen. Again, I'm not sure. 60 through 61 on the 2D screen. Thinking that came off maybe like horse tack or something. Maybe a buckle. Showing a 1 all the way to the left on the center of the 2D screen. If I turn it sideways though, a 92, again, still right on the 2D screen. A mystery item found at an elementary school. Has some brass fittings, wood. 32 through 36 above the center 2D screen, kind of sketchy. Little brass fitting. 63 and 71 on the 2D screen, but elongated and sketchy. Let's see, I have a lot more. Let me grab. This is just some of the aluminum I've dug in the last month or so. That's some of the iron. So just a piece of aluminum. 155 below the 2D screen. Even a larger piece. $1 and 90 all over the screen. Beaver tail, 38. Pull tab, 29 through 30. Right on the 2D screen. Chunk of aluminum. 13, right on the 2D screen. Just a real small piece. This almost come up like gold. Piece of aluminum. 8 and 11 on the 2D screen, but elongated. Here's some foreign coins, which should be copper. 68, 58, 72 through 73, probably because it's a larger piece. 75 through 76, and 61. This one's definitely worn. Here's some other wheat pennies. Here's a 1918. These are ones I bought so I can put in my test garden. 72 through 73. Here's a 1935 wheat penny. 66 through 68. Here's a 1920 wheat penny. 62 through 63, and finally a 1950 wheat penny, 78 through 80. So there you go. That's just a little sample of my finds for the last month or so, and I wanted to post all the VDI numbers. And obviously you can go to my YouTube channel and watch this again, and even print this out. I'll run this through AI and have it give me a complete listing of all of the VDI numbers, just so you kind of know what you're digging before you dig it out. So I appreciate everybody being on the live tonight. Have a great night.